Okay, here we go. It's James Middick speaking. Got another Wednesday open coaching call, live class, Ask Me Anything. Um, Again, we do these every Wednesday. This is open. Ask any questions that you want. I'll do my best to answer them. If not, I have a couple things that I'm kind of going to think about doing and talking about to kind of get things going. But at any point, please put in the chat any questions that you have or topics that you want to have covered, and I'll do my best to go through them. There's been an awful lot of stuff happening. It seems that there's always something happening in this whole space. And it has been, especially with all of the AI kind of major players coming out with new versions that are starting to really involve more than text. And that's kind of the big story, I think, for us as content creators who are in the educational space, is being able to put it into a different kind of modality, both in terms of the information that we put in and also what it is that we get out. So I think that's going to be really interesting. It's something we're going to have to make sure that we keep up with, and keep up with it with not get not get pulled down into the rabbit hole. And one of the things that I find myself struggling with on a regular basis is trying to stay focused on the fact is, hey, we're running a business. We need educational content. We need a business model. We need a privately branded campus or learning community that we invite our community to and be able to share kind of our story and our expertise and be able to monetize it at the end of the day. So even with all this AI stuff, it can get kind of overloading for a lot of people when we see all these cool tools. So from time to time here, we'll bring open the chat and I'll see if I can get any questions, anything that's going on, please let me know. And again, we'll do it. So I had a couple ideas. Some of the things that we can talk about is a number of the videos that I did during the last 4 or 5 days. Some of the things that I've been talking about, one of them is about creating courses really quickly. I did a video up. I did a video yesterday, I think it was, and I'll show you those ones. We'll go to my channel here for a second. That particular one, I did a 3-prompt. Basically, that one was a 3-prompt method. We could go over that one if you want to see how to create a course in about 30 minutes. If you're really serious about that, let me know in the chat about a topic, and I'll basically show you how to create a course. We could do it in the hour here. That's kind of one thing to do. The other thing is, and this is kind of, I haven't officially announced this yet, but I'll kind of do a soft launch here. There is a stack of tools that I use personally when I build out training sites and or campuses, like the one at trainingsites.io, like my particular site here. That particular site is built on WordPress, which I'm still a huge fan of. And it also is built on a plugin for WordPress called Fluent Community. One of the things that is going to be announced shortly, and I'm just going to tease you with it right now, is I am going to make the Fluent Community, the pro version of the software, available to the paid members of the community. So as long as you're a paid member of the community, you get a free license of Fluent Community Pro. So that's going to be kind of announced a little bit, hopefully this week. I'll get it done tomorrow, the next day, so that anyone decides, I'll show you the upgrade path and stuff that's there, but I'm going to include the Fluent Community plugin so you can install it on your WordPress site, and I'll keep all of the information that's in here on how to use it, take advantage, and basically set up your campus exactly the same as this particular one. So that's kind of one of the plans that's there. But there's a whole bunch of Fluent tools that I use in these campuses, and that's one of the stacks of tools that that we could talk about that would be kind of neat. The other thing is, it has come up, again, a question that came up is whether or not, a lot of times I mention about, create courses, create courses, create courses. And then other times I say, don't bother selling courses. Don't sell courses. Give away the courses. So the other thing that I could kind of copy is just that idea of, when should I sell a course, which I still think you should do in a unique situations, and when should I give away a course, and why should I give a course, and how that fits into a model. So those are some of the things that I had in mind. Again, I can talk about any of them, but in the comments or the chat there, please give me a heads up on what you want covered. Just let me know. Is there something specific, a question that you have, an idea that you wanted to share or just play around with? I'm open to doing any of that stuff. So again, give me a heads up and let me know what's going on there. Love to find out the scoop and see who's there, who's involved, who's on. There we go. Let's see the live chat. I'm just opening the other screen here. We're there. No beeping, no questions. Well, that's kind of disheartening. Here's what I think what I will do just while we're waiting to see if anyone comes on. I will go over the actual product that I actually did two things yesterday. One was I did a YouTube video explaining what I did to create a course. So basically I created a course and I recorded what I was doing while I was actually creating the course. So I ended up with, as a result of doing that, I ended up with two things. One is the actual little YouTube video that I did that I turned into a course right here, which is the 3-prompt method. And again, if you're seeing this after the fact, this is trainingsites.io. It's my branded learning community. It's free to join. All you have to do is go to trainingsites.io/join, which is in the link below there to get started. And these are some of the courses. So I created a course yesterday and I created a video explaining how I created the course. So kind of two birds with one stone. And that's one of the things that I highly recommend as well is you capture the processes and the things that you're doing in your business to turn them into assets that you can use in your business. So what I was doing there was I had wanted to, or I have been using on a regular basis, one of the Fluent tools that I was talking about. And that particular one was, let me just pull it up here. I want to make sure it's in the right place here. This one here, which was where my mouse is moving, it's called Fluent Boards for Beginners is what it was about. Now, if you're not familiar with Fluent Boards is a project management tool that is part of that stack of tools that I use. And one of the things that I use it for, well, a number of things I use it for. One of them is keeping track or scheduling and managing all of the tasks involved in creating YouTube videos. I have one for actually creating courses that I use. I have one for all different parts of my businesses internally for marketing. But if we're working with our agency clients, the projects that we're involved in with the agency clients, and in fact, anyone that we're doing any coaching or mentoring with, they have their own project. So I use that internally to basically run the business. And one of the things that we didn't have was we didn't have a course on how to get started with that. And working with one of the customers, they had staff that had never used a project management tool. So they basically asked for a little bit of a course. So what I did is I made a simple course that actually goes through getting started with Fluent Boards, how it works, how do you plan and manage courses, how do you manage clients, coaching, and community, what are the different ways to be productive with it, and wrapping up. And you can see in this one that I've got 24 separate lessons, and I created this so it was something as a reference document or supplemented the use of a tool or process that was internally for them. But I kind of shifted it around and I made it available for you guys. And again, this is a course that's absolutely free to use. There's no cost for you to go and start it. Now, how did I make this course? It took me maybe 30 to 45 minutes to make it. And the way that I made it was using the 3-prompt method, which is the one that was just a simple process, 3 prompts, and then examples of the prompts that I actually created. So I'm just going to enroll in this course. I'll show you those prompts so you can kind of see what's happening there. Really, really, really simple way to create courses. And the reason that courses, this is a course that is not meant to be sold. It's meant to supplement something that is already being taught or already being used. So that's an example of just organizing or curating content that is appropriate for the people that you're trying to help. And in this case, I just wanted to show you how to create the course because I get asked on a regular basis, how do you create courses so quickly? Or I have an idea for a course. I have all of this experience, but I've never created a course. How can I do it quickly? So I'll take a look at this with you so that you can see it, and then kind of go through the prompts. And again, all of this is available to you. It's part of the community that you can join in. So results media, I presented a course and recorded the 12 live sessions with students. It was live, dynamic, total 18 hours of detailed handouts, assessments. How can we use AI to convert all the content? Perfect. And Anthony, hello, Anthony, thinking on. So that's a really good question. Results media, how can I actually do that? Let me just make sure that my head is in the uh, picture here. I do get asked too, just so I'm going to mention, I got asked today, what is the software that I use to do these live streams and record the video courses? I'm on a Mac. This is called Ecamm. A similar tool is called OBS on a Windows machine. And you can use other tools locally if you want, or as a software as a service. Two that I recommend are Riverside FM and Streamlabs are the other ones. So that's the software that I'm using to create this. But I think for our results media, you've got a situation where you have a digital asset, all sorts of digital assets, 12 live sets with live dynamic 18 hours of detail. So here's a couple things I'd ask you before we get into the prompts here on kind of how I do it. And we'll get into a little more detail for you. But those live sessions, if you could just tell me in the comments there or in the chat, were those Zoom webinar recordings? What was on the actual recordings? Was it like slides and a talking head? Was it screen captures? Was it just you presenting something? So if you could give me some idea of what's actually in the content that was recorded, that would really help me out. The other thing is the question is, you have 18 hours with handouts, assessments, etc. One of the things you kind of have to think about up front is those 18 hours, what is it you should actually be doing or presenting as a course, mini course, micro course, or program, and how does that fit into your particular business model? So I have a couple things we can cover on that as well. So if you could write that stuff in and just give, obviously a little bit of background if you could, and that would help me provide some answers there. What I will do is I'll show you the three prompts that I kind of played around with here, and we'll actually look at the prompts. You can see them. And if you're just watching this in the background or playing around with it, don't be afraid to, log in, copy the prompts, and just try it, and you'll see what happens. And actually, what we could do, this would actually, if you do have a kind of the topic that these videos were on, put the topic in as well, and I'll actually run the prompt on it, and we'll see what we get, which would be kind of neat. So here's what I'm doing. The process. Let me just look at the prompts. So it's three prompts. Basically, what I did was I said, look, I'm going to be doing a course on, or I want to do a course on this topic. And then I basically asked, in this case, ChatGPT, I said, if I was going to do a course on this topic for this group of people, what would be the best way to structure it and what should be covered in that course? And I didn't come up with it. I asked ChatGPT, I said, if you were going to do it, how would you actually put it together? And basically, I asked the prompt, and this is the exact prompt. So I said, I want to create a full online course for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs who are new to project management. The goal is to teach them how to use Fluent Board software to set up, organize, and manage their online education business. Please help me plan a complete course outline that includes titles and subtitle suggestions, target audience descriptions and learning goals, module by module breakdown with lesson titles, summary of each goal or takeaway, ideas for downloadable resources, templates and checklists, which you were just talking about, um, bonus content ideas, suggestions for tools and frameworks, what I need to know and research or document before building the course, tips on keeping the course beginner friendly and not overwhelming, and then a little bit more context. So basically, I knew what the course was about, and in your case, I'm pretty sure that you know what the category of the topic is. So so here you give the prompt, and basically what I got from this when I prompted it was this particular piece here, course outline. So it created Fluent Boards For organizing and grow your education business, it gave a possible title, the audience, the learning goals, and then outline for course modules and lessons. So it basically laid out the ideas for a course, including the downloads and stuff that were available, or assessments or quizzes, things like that if I'd asked for it, and even some bonus content ideas. So that's kind of the first step, is to get some help roughing out what you actually want the finished course to be. And again, I'll come to that because you have got 18 hours of content. This is just an example on how to do a mini course or a micro course. You'd have to adapt it if you were doing some huge, big program. So hopefully that helps. Oh, you get a chance of how that works, kind of what's in the piece there. After you've done that work, what I then did is I went and said, well, you know what? I have my idea and my experience of what's covered there. I just want to make sure that I have all of the information that would be important to create a course from. So what I did in that case is I went to ChatGPT and I did deep research, and I had this prompt which said, let me bring it a little bit closer so you can see it. There we go. So this one was, please perform a deep dive research on Fluent Boards, a project and task management tool, focused specifically on how it can be used by the target market that I wanted to manage it. And I said, your output should include, and I gave it a whole bunch of information. And I also said the tone should be friendly. And I said, any available documents, tutorials, community resources, I said, go and search everywhere for it, so that I had the opportunity to have a whole bunch of background information ready and available for me before I actually got started. And what I got out of that was, in this case, hopefully I'll be able to open it up here. And again, these are all available to you. I got a research document, and that research document was 53 pages long. It took 18 or 19 minutes for ChatGPT to do it, but it had all of the information and references that I had requested. So now I have a course outline and all of the stuff that might be a good idea for the course. I've got the course research document that I had done. And what I'm going to do is basically put them together and ask Claude. In the third step, I basically just said to Claude, let me see if I can get this to, where was I in the page there? There we are. So in this case, I just went to Claude, and the third step was, I've created a course outline and research document on using Fluent Boards to do what I want. And I said, here are the two attachments, the outline that I had in the research document, and then I said, create a course. And what it gave me was the entire course that I published, which was, where is it? Right here, Fluent Boards for Beginners. So that was 24 lessons, all of the text lessons. I also had images, requests or descriptions of images or slides to put in, but basically put the course. So it took me maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes to actually do everything. Took me maybe 15 minutes to add it to, in this case, Fluent Community for the LMS. So that's a simple process to actually create courses. And again, it's one anyone can use with something like that. So here we go. I'm just going to go and see if I can. One of the things that happens here is I do these sessions absolutely live. I don't have any assistants here. So it's just me doing them. Got a couple of computer screens on the go. And one of the things that I'm not 100% sure on how to do and what I'm learning now is to make sure that I can keep up with the chats and see everything as they're going. So I'm going to try and see if I can get this to actually move a little bit. I don't think that I can. So if I look off to the side, it's because I'm playing around and trying to find some of the other chat. So, okay, there we go. Okay, so 12 live sessions. I'm just looking for results media. So Zoom's PDF, all participants on the screen could extract discussion points to added content. Okay, yeah, so if you have existing content, there's some interesting stuff just to put in perspective now. And I'll show you the videos actually on this. We'll talk about this for a second because it is a good question. One of the things that happen is when you have videos, and if they're in Zoom, if you save them in Zoom, you can actually create the transcripts from those particular videos. So the first thing to do is, if you have, collect and put all of the transcripts together for all 18 of them. And there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing that. There's some specific tools. I believe you can do it in Zoom depending on your account now, but just actually get the transcripts. The other thing you can do now, starting this week, is you can use Gemini actually 2.5 to not only create transcripts from it, but you can also ask questions about visually what was going on in the actual video. So in many cases, when you analyze a video in the past, it's always been the AI tool. Basically what it did is it did a transcription of the audio of the video, and it used just the transcription to actually do any work. It was referencing only the text that was created by the audio transcription. So what's happened in the last week is specifically Gemini came up with and started to allow us to do just that. And I'll pull up that one here. That one was this video right here. I'll show it to you. This, because the context window, this one right here. So I'll show this one to you. This was Google Gemini 25 can see your videos. This particular one allows you to basically upload a video and or use a YouTube video. And what it does is you can ask questions or prompts based on the transcription, but also visually what's actually going on in the video. So if you're actually presenting something visually in the video, you can ask questions or prompt based on that, as well as elements within the screen. And the example that I used on this one is if someone's a pickleball instructor. So I showed an example of someone teaching pickleball, where you had the auditory coaching or teaching. You also had the court where they were playing pickleball, and you also had the elements of what they were doing with the paddle, for example, or position on the court. And Gemini now knows not just what's in the transcript, but what is actually happening on the screen visually. And that's the reason I asked the question, when you're doing a Zoom call or you're recording the assets that you have, what is it that you're actually recording? Is it a talking head? Is it a slide deck? And that's the other thing. If you have a slide deck, it can read the text in the slide deck. So even if you say one thing, but the text on the slides are different, Gemini still has access to that visual written content that isn't mentioned in the transcript. So having said all that, collect your digital assets, and then depending on what's in it, you have to figure out, what do I need to pull out of it, or what do I need to draw, or what has value in it, if I'm going to use it as reference material for a course. So collect all those things. And I think you were talking about you had Zoom's PDFs, all participants, extract discussion points to added content. Yeah, so, and it was on results and leadership. So on those particular ones, and again, if you have this as an answer, that would be good. Because the other thing that you can do with this is when you are doing something that, and I'm going to call it a soft skill out of ignorance, but if you're doing performance and leadership skills, in many instances, again, from my limited knowledge of that topic, is that any presentation is often a text or infographic with a talking head or discussion of maybe some visual element. It's not something that you physically do, it's something that you're talking about and guiding through a particular story. So if you are doing that kind of content in the future, you think about, how am I doing this that would allow me to use it right now as a live kind of session, but how can I also repurpose it later to have it as a course or micro course or mini course. So that's one way of at least getting started. The other thing that I will tell you, and again, I don't know if you're familiar with this, I'll open this one up here just so that we have it, is, and again, this one's kind of important, is if you haven't already, make sure that you get a Notebook LM account, and they're free. I have the plus version because I have the Google Workspace, but make sure that you have a Notebook lm.google account, and you just need a Google account. And in those particular ones, what you want to do is make sure that if you create a new one, I think this one has one here. Yeah. So here's an example of one that I did. And when you are creating or want to have basically an archive or synopsis of all of those videos that you've done, you can add a link or upload the links to those videos. And on mine right now, I think I have 16 sources here. I think right now, because I have a paid version, I could add 300 videos, but a minimum I think is 50. So you can basically upload all of that video content here to Notebook and start prompting based on all of those videos. So instead of going out to the internet to basically, or the large language model to what it's trained on to figure out, what all the pieces mean, you can prompt here, but the reference points are only the 18 or 19 videos that you have. So then you can start saying, I've added 18 or 19 videos to this particular project. Analyze the videos and let me know, should I have it as one big course, or are there 7 or 6 or 5 or 10 courses that I could create in a logical flow that would be smaller and easier to consume for the people that I'm trying to help? So you kind of have to take an audit of what it is that you're doing with the content that you have and see what the best way is to repurpose it based on what you're trying to do or your business model within your campus. So hopefully that helps to get started. Of course, that's not it. Um, there's always lots more to do. And again, if you haven't already, I highly recommend, and I please, 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 I want you to do one thing whenever you get started, when you're in an education business and you want to have your own learning campus, that learning community, please make sure and do this. I'll bring the screen up. On the left-hand side, right here, we have start here, we have say hello, we have the orientation and tour on how to get around the site, and your campus blueprint, which is a 10-step process that every business in the past 25 years that I've been building these courses and stuff, these are the 10 things that everyone has to do at some point if they're going to build out more than a course, if they want to build a business. And that's from starting, building, and growing, from doing the research and figuring out what the business model is and how you want to set it up and who you want to help, how you want to structure it, to building your campus and your course content, and then to actually market it and have it as a business. So please go and take a look at that. Again, there's 10 lessons. There's the getting started, building your course in your campus, grow at your education business. And I've also included in all of this, there is, let me just do this one, a campus blueprint. I think I have it in one of them. There is the actual maps, the mind maps to put these together. So make sure to take that course, please, because it can certainly help position everything going forward. And for me, this is a foundation. The other courses that are all available here up in the courses, all of those courses are supplemental or pieces of those 10 steps. So, I try and put across the top, is it, about starting your business ones? Is it about building the business? Is it growing the business? Those are the pieces that can certainly help. So, Zoom slides, PDF videos, and have a transcript. Okay. And you do have a transcript. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and then also the handouts. If you have handouts, just include them in the course. You don't have to redo them. The cool thing now, of course, is that if you do want to redo them, uh, handouts and contents are basically a prompt away right now. So you can use any of the tools like ChatGPT or Claude and just basically say, output a PDF version of this, or create a quiz or a checklist, and it will actually output one. So those are the kind of cool things. And if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up if you've seen Manus or not seen Manus. And maybe I'll talk about that, because in terms of courses, there was something neat that it did in the courses that I was talking about or creating that would be helpful or can show you where things are going. They did it with Manus last week when I ran that particular test. And if you didn't see that, again, there's a video that I have on it on YouTube, and I'll put these below as well in the links. But Manus, we'll just do this one. this is kind of where things are going. And again, I have a story with Manus. Really disappointed me on this one, but hey. So here's one that I did with Manus.im. And if you haven't heard of Manus before, it is a brand new tool that is an AI agent. It is a general agent. And basically what it does, or what it did, is it allowed me to give a complex request, and it actually goes to a browser and does the work that I requested. So what I did on this one is I said, create a LearnDash course. So I asked it to create a LearnDash course, and then I asked it to publish the LearnDash course after going and creating a product in my shopping cart, WooCommerce, assigning the product to the course and publishing the course. And it basically got 99% of it done. So I had one prompt and it did the prompt and actually went through the entire step by step and actually created it and published it on the actual site, on my training site. It did it as a LearnDash course, which I've since turned off because I'm not using LearnDash anymore. But the idea here is that if you have something like PDFs or checklists or those, you can put them into some of these tools and say, based on this lesson or based on this quiz, create a action item or a checklist, log into Canva, pick an infographic that's appropriate as a template, and update it to include these items in the checklist. Or if you want to do a little bit of work, obviously, you say use this template from Canva to do it. Or open up Google Docs and do it there. Or create a spreadsheet in your Google account based on this. So these are kind of things that are happening in the space. So, in as much as collecting the content, yes, you can use it and put it as a download, as another asset in the particular lesson. But I think the first thing is getting a big picture of all of those assets and then getting some help doing things like with Notebook and trying to figure out kind of where's the best place to use it and a summary to use it. And again, if you haven't used Notebook, I do have a number of videos on that one. The thing that's really cool about that one is there's two things. One is the ability to create an interactive podcast right from all of your assets. And I'll show you this one. I have a video, actually, it's in my list of ones to do. I'll open up this one here just so that you can see it. Zoom it in a little bit. Hopefully we can see it. Now, the one that they did do is whenever I'm creating courses or course content, I almost always try and use a mind map. And one of the ones that they just added here where my mouse is moving is a mind map is now available within Notebook. So this is one I have a video up that isn't published yet. I'm just doing up that will basically look at how this works. But you can actually have a mind map created from all those videos that you did and that you've uploaded here and visually represent all of the different pieces and play around with it. So kind of a cool thing to do with some research. So there we go. And results media, I'll certainly. Hey David, welcome to the live stream here. Gift and all. There we go. Okay. See results. I would like to see Manus. Is it available and or affordable yet? Okay, I'll do this one quickly just because there's I really, really, really wanted to like it. I wanted to like it a lot because the idea was cool. And I got on the list there, it had an invite list and I got in just maybe a week or two after it started. And the big promise of this, of course, was it was an agent. So normally it's like you give a particular question or a little bit of a task and you get a response. So it's like question, response, question, response. And that's the step most of us have been doing, with tools like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and all the other ones that have been available. And it's really like a whole bunch of prompts, hundreds of prompts and iterations of things. And the big promise of Manus was, it's like, here, I want you to do a task. I'm going to tell you what the task is. I want you to think about it, take the steps, and actually do it from start to finish. And, my big goal for all of these ones, we're doing things, for example, one of the ones I said, this one was, and I'll basically open this one up for you so you can see how it works. But one of the first ones that I used was, so this one was a task I gave it. I said, create a beginner-friendly notebook LM course with 7 comprehensive lessons and design an engaging HTML website with a single sales page as the home page. And I gave it the course structure. Okay, and then I just said, do it, go and do it. And the big promise from this is it basically went through all of the different pieces and it broke it up into small tasks and did the tasks. And it got pretty close through to it. What it didn't do, and I'll open this one up for you just so you see it, is it when it was going through these ones, the part that got kind of stuck at the end is Manus didn't have enough, it's called a large enough context window. And what that is, it's basically I asked too much of a task and it kind of stalled at the end. So that was the first thing that was cool, but you can see the kind of task it was. It's like, do the research, create a course, create a sales page. I did another one was create a course, log into my website, create a course using my LMS like LearnDash, create a product in my shopping cart, connect them, and then publish the course was another task. So that was the promise of Manus, and that's what it does or did in some kind of regular sized tasks. Now, here's the problem. It was limited in that length or size of the task, so you ended up having to break it in smaller tasks to get it done. But for them, I think they made a mistake because what they did do, and I'll open this one up for you. I did another video on this, and it's in the site as well. And I think they're really mucked up on the pricing, and I'll show you what I mean. There we go. And this one I did, I'll show you this video, the link's there. And it was basically, I said, did Manus AI agent price themselves out of the AI market? And I think that's what they did, unfortunately. When we started, we were limited to 1 task a day. So you used your task up and then you had to wait 24 hours until you could use it again. And what they did is they had a lot of trouble because there was a lot of people using it and experimenting with it and playing with it. It's doing really cool stuff. And then they said, well, we better charge for it. And what they did is, hopefully I'll just be able to get a screen here where I'm not logged into it. So let me we'll do an incognito one and see if I can get it done up so that we see it. And it is manus.im is actually the URL. There's an open source version of it that I haven't played with, but I think like you have to install it on your machine, and I'm just not that technical, so I did it. So this is what they did with the new version, or the version that's a little more public, is they set it up so that they had pricing where it was $39 a month, and then they had one that was $200 a month. But here's the thing that was kind of a sad part. They had it at 3,900 credits per month. And to give you an idea, this one for the credits, the courses that I did, those examples that I did, would have probably used 3,000 credits. So it's like $39 for one job that didn't quite get done. So I think they've made a mistake here. I understand they need to do that, but still, if you were going to say, create a course for me, you had to do extra work on it, and that particular course was going to cost $200. I'd much rather break it into small chunks and do it myself, or have it done internally with some of my team to basically put it together. So the promise is there. That's where it's going. It can be done. I think that Manus just made a mistake actually trying to do that. That's kind of the big promise, right? Is being able to actually, put together these particular tasks. So hopefully that helps a little bit on that question. Let me just go here. We got, there we go. Let me see what else we got here. I wish I knew how to actually do this with the quotes. I'll try it again and see if I can maybe scroll down a little bit. Manus available, any other things there? Hey, David, how are you? I think, David, in the community, did you have a question? Just give me a thumbs up. Did you have a question on the pricing, on when to price courses or when to not price courses? I can't remember. There was someone that had that. It was one of the ones that I had on my list to cover. So it's something that we certainly can cover if you want. But does that, any other questions on stuff with Manus? Is there any other questions that you wanted to cover or look at? Anthony's there as well. Again, any other questions, David? Results, like to see Manus, is it available and are affordable yet? Yeah, so not really affordable in my view, which is unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, what's one that, yeah, I think I will talk about this for a second. And what it is it's all about courses. And I want to talk about courses because it gets mentioned, or I mention it a lot of the time. And I just want to kind of I don't want to harsh everyone's mellow on courses, but it is important that we kind of cover it. And I think this is what's happening. This is my personal view and how I've set up things in my campus, in my business. And this is the reason that I've actually done it this way. When I used to create courses, the purpose of the course was to structure the content towards a specific outcome, to teach a skill or a process or a task, to provide some kind of, here you are, here's where you want to be, here's are the steps, the things that you do, and how to do it to actually get there. And the whole deal with courses, until recently, within the last like 2 years kind of thing, um, is that courses, you put them behind a wall and you ask people to pay for them because you had expertise about it, and that knowledge that you had was unique to you, and in many cases was unique to you and only your particular process of it or your ability to create that particular content. And unfortunately, what's happened for people who are hiding behind their content is that any content is now available to anyone. So I just did an example where I created a course. It was on software, given that it was on software, but in under an hour, I had a course that was ready to go based on a wealth of knowledge that people could use, that I could have changed a bit. If it was generated as a course, I showed that Claude put it together. I could have moved stuff around, added, removed anything that I wanted to it. But for all intents and purposes, the course was created. So should I be charging for something that someone can create in 45 minutes if they knew those 3 prompts? That is going to be, it is tough now. It's very tough now to create a course and just hope to sell a course by itself. Anyone can create it, and the way things are happening, it's going to be even easier to be able to do that. And things like Manus, it's like, hey, I want to create a course on this, create the course, create the product, publish it to my website. Can you sell that if everyone else can do it? What makes it unique to you? You know, if it's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and someone else does step, 1 through 6, but they do 11, what's different about it in terms of getting the outcome that people want? There's really not that much difference anymore. So I personally think that there's 3 different ways to look at it. There's the DIY crowd, which are a lot of people who just look at content and kind of figure out how to put it together or implement it. That's a DIY group of people. Those are people on YouTube. That's why I create 1 to 2 videos a day for people like you, or just want to kind of piece it all together. And then there's the Done With You group, which is the part that I work with in the mentor program. And I'll show you that one just so you can see it. Just opening up a page here so you can see it. So I do have a mentoring program, and this particular one is where I either work in the campus as a paid member of the campus. This is where we work in groups to actually implement the stuff that you've learned, or one-on-one. There's 2 kind of pieces with that. And then we have a done for you, which is when you don't have time, you don't want to learn, you just want to kind of get it done. So the course part is about the information and the content. I think it's going to be close to impossible by the end of this year to actually really charge for something unless it's really, really, really specific. And secondly, and this is the important one, and this is why I was asking about someone that was on earlier, if you are providing certification, and or you need the particular education that you're creating in the course for something else, whether it be, let's say you're a reseller of a product, or you're using it internally for a staff member where it has to be done and certified or something along those lines. That's when you're going to be, I think you can still have, especially if you're doing it, for example, like a reseller or someone else like that, or you're providing a certification level in an educational institute, or it's a prerequisite for something else to happen. Yes, I think there's a huge opportunity to actually create courses and sell them. But from general courses, I don't think it's going to happen. And in fact, the part that I saw, the big changes when we did courses before, some of the courses were 50 or 60 separate lessons in 15 modules. And any of the, if you do a, you do a Perplexity search right now, go to perplexity.ai and just say, give me the completion rates on courses in 2024. And you'll find the last time I did that, that even the best authors on Udemy, which is a massively open course platform, I believe they said 8% of the people that purchased a course or started a course even finished it. And a lot of those courses are huge, huge, huge courses with all sorts of pieces in it. And I think the reason is it's really that whole issue of the YouTubeification of content, where I have a specific question that may have been in a course, somewhere in a course, but I just have a question that I need an answer to for that one piece. It's a lot easier now to actually go to ChatGPT, say, hey, do it, or to go to YouTube and take a look and do it. So I think you should create courses as quickly as possible, as many as possible, answering all of the questions that your potential customers or community has. I think you should do that and organize them as courses, curated content based on your experience, but I think you should give them away in exchange. This is exactly what I've been doing that's working really, really well in the shift that I made, in exchange for them joining your community. So the cost to you is your email address. It's not a monetary cost, it's your email address. So that I have you now in my community as part of my captive audience that I can upsell to the part where we implement or actually guide or mentor you through all of the choices. And if you just don't have time, you just want it done, my agency side is there to actually do the work for you. So I think for education businesses, this is the model that we're going to see. And in fact, a lot of the people that I grew up with in this space, they're all doing the exact same thing now. So you're going to see this thing not about courses. Courses are free. However, in order to get access to the course, you have to pay with your email address to get into my community. Now, the other thing that's interesting about this is there's still people that are talking about, doing webinars as part of a lead funnel. My personal view is I do these live streams where I answer questions once a week. But the value for me as the community or the campus owner is that I am charging people for access to me live. And I can charge more for live access as opposed to doing a low ticket offer and doing mini courses or 5 lesson courses and trying to sell it for $27 or something when there's 10 billion other people who are doing the exact same thing. So that's kind of the model that I'm using. The courses, please create courses as fast as you can, but put it in perspective to your business model and the people that you're going to help, and figure out, am I going to be in the course business or am I going to be in the education community teaching online campus business? And that's a big distinction. And that's one of the ones that I cover in the 10 steps kind of going forward with that. So one of the questions here was, have you thought about how to get courses and new knowledge into the hands of small businesses? Is it possible that small biz we become AI crazy and misdirected without education for all the employees? And I think, yeah, absolutely. It's a huge problem, collecting and making sure that there is standard operating procedures for small businesses. I think there's a huge value in that, and basically creating that education model or that education platform for small businesses is a huge opportunity. It's funny you mention that, because a lot of the times that we work with agencies or small businesses is they may have a staff of 15 or 20 people or more than that. And they want to make sure that the staff internally is trained on what to do and how to do it based on their kind of rules. So, having their own community or internal campus for small businesses is something that we're running into on a regular basis. And if you already have content that you can reuse because you are teaching generic strategies or processes, it's easy to plug it in to their particular campus or platform, so that they do have some standard operating procedures or ways that the company wants people to actually do the work. And AI crazy is right. The other one that's interesting is, I follow a lot of different channels, and one of the things that's kind of in the back of my mind through all of this is the shift is going to be, or what other people are talking about in the shift is going to be from more AI agents as opposed to doing things and searching on the internet. It's like I have my list of agents that I use to do specific tasks. So, it's not going to an application to actually do the task myself. It's like I have a stack of tools in a process, and I task my agents to go and log into some other site. And that was actually something that came up in the last couple weeks. And I'll talk about that one just for a second. You're going to hear a term called MCP, and it's Model Context Protocol. I did this video earlier this week. Okay, let's go live. Let me just go so you can see the cover. This one here, I'll make the screen a little bit bigger here so you can see it. There it is there. So this one in the middle, this one here is called AI plus MCP tutorial, the futures for teachers and courses. If you haven't watched that one, go and watch that one, because basically what the whole story behind it is MCP is something that the people at Claude brought up. And basically it's a way for one agent to hand off its information to another agent, and it's a way for the agents to communicate to complete tasks. So are people going to be AI crazy? Yes. Are they going to be using specific AI tools to start and do stuff now? Yes. A year from now, 9 months, a year from now, 18 months from now, I think we're going to see this MCP stuff where it's like, here's my stack of tools and agents, and they're going to be handing stuff off to complete full tasks. So I think that's going to be kind of neat. That one I'm crossing my fingers on, both because I'm scared and it is exciting both at the same time. So um, are the markdowns for these available on the site? So whenever I do these sessions, it's kind of weird because I see usernames like David's got his, we've got Results Media, we've got Big Mick or Big MICC. And if I pronounce these wrong, I apologize for them. Are the markdowns for these available? And I think you're referring to these actual live streams. And yes, I have started re-adding them, and I'll show you where they are right now. Um, and actually, look at the page right now. Remember I was talking about Manus? This page is actually an HTML page on my website that Manus created in HTML. And I'm talking about the copy, the layout, the design. All of this was done by Manus. I didn't write any of this. So that's just an example of where things are going and how exciting it is when you can say, hey, write a sales page for my course. This is an example of one that was created. So the question is, are these videos available? Yes, they are. And we'll bring that one up just so that we can see it. I've been adding them and starting to add them again. There's a course called Open Classroom right here. And in Open Classroom, what I've been trying to do is create or add the videos to start off with. Not all of the text is available there for them, but if you open them up, you'll see the actual videos there and you can ask questions. Now, I have not scraped them or used the transcription to create a summary for them. However, if you're Hey Patrick, how are you? Thanks for coming on. And Zebra Music is here. There we go. So here's the one here. This is one that I use all the time personally. A little easy thing to do. There's other tools that do it, but if you want to take this right away and use it, you can just basically take the URL for it and run your own tool to get a transcription. The one that I use still on a regular basis, but not all the time, since we have Gemini and those other pieces. But if you're going and you're taking a look at a particular video, I still use on the right hand side here GLASP. And again, that's an extension. And this one, I basically just go and I say, I have it set up, summarize the video. And on mine, I'll just go and let's do it. This time I'll do it in Claude. We'll open it up in Claude and see what happens.
The pineal gland has tiny little cilia, hair-like extensions.
So in the background, what it's done is it took the transcript and it's basically creating a summary of it. And we could have said include the timestamps. There's some other ways of doing it, but there's 10 key summaries and some action items. And basically that's exactly what's in the video to go through. So you can take a look at it and say, is this something I should watch the entire thing? Or is there a particular point that is of interest to me? So hopefully that helps when you're talking about Markdown. I think that's what you're talking about. If it's something else, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer that. Sorry, I don't think I wasn't showing the screen there. My apologies. All I did is I ran it in GLASP. It took the transcript and then created the summary with, I asked for 10 key takeaways. It gave me 9 and then some action items. So anytime you have any kind of YouTube video, you can just use the GLASP kind of thing on the right-hand side, the transcript and summary, pardon me, and basically run it. So that's kind of cool to do. Patrick's there. Who else we got? Any other questions? How long have I been going here? These sessions, I always get going on these ones. An hour already. This stuff is so cool. I could talk forever on it. So let me know if there are any more questions, things that are going there, specific things you want to see, what's happening. If you want to see, here's the part that I'm doing. Actually, I'll show you this one thing on kind of what happened for me personally when you're creating pricing for business models. And again, this is just me, behind the scenes, actually what I'm working on and somewhat struggling with all of these branded campus things. It's like, remember, I have the DIY stuff, which is free content. I have the done with you part, which is like group coaching or one-on-one coaching, including the videos. So it's kind of guiding you through and keeping you accountable and implementing the stuff that's in the DIY. And then I have the agency side, which is the done for you part. And personally, it's very hard for me to make sure that I can provide you with an easy way to describe or a purchase path without getting too complex. So one of the things that I was working on this week and is not 100% sure yet is I've been trying to simplify how I put all of this together. And I was working with Gemini doing it. And Gemini 2.5 is kind of a neat tool here. It's one that I've been playing around with for quite a while. And what we were doing there is basically going through and I was trying to figure out what would be the best way to actually create the content and put everything together in terms of the pricing and models, that kind of thing. So I did a lot of work with that. And one of the things that I've come up with and how I'm actually going to put this together, I don't know if my video pencil's around. I don't think it is. So basically here's what I'm going to be doing moving forward or trying to do moving forward. I don't have the sales page for it yet, but this is kind of the space that is going to happen. So I'm just going to open the pages, and this is the part I don't have the sales page put together, but hopefully you'll be able to help. And if you have questions or stuff, let me know. So here's kind of the side that we have. I have the pass level, which is a way to get access to. Here's what I'm going to include in it. So if you're a free member and you say, you know what, I need a little bit of extra help. I don't know which one I should use. Here's my situation. Which one should I apply? I do have, if you go to /pass right now, you'll see that there is a payment option here for, I have 3 payment options right now. It's $197 a month. Just keep that one in mind. So what happens, $197 a month, this is what you're gonna get. We have weekly 1 hour to 90-minute Zoom calls where we actually work on implementing this stuff on your site during the call. So it's not a live stream like this. It's not a recording of a video. It's actually us working on it. And those are group ones, and we do one every week. So that's the first thing. Plus, if you are here and you say, look, I'm using this tool, or how would I do it, or what are my options for doing this? You just let us know, because we have a private group and we have live messaging in that group. And then you just say, look, can you do a quick video up to explain how this would work? And then what we'll do is we'll do the video up and we keep it private in the group for you. So it's an opportunity to get a little bit of more hands-on as a campus builder. So it's our campus builder program. You're going to be able to get access to that. Now, the other thing that I haven't said, and I said at the start, is what I'm going to be doing now is I'm also going to include a free license to Fluent Community, the Pro license. So if you have a WordPress site and you're interested in building your own campus like this, you can have it work exactly the same as I do here. So if you have that, kind of package, and we look at the site right here that comes up, this site is Fluent Community, and basically you get the free pro version of this to install on your site to build out your campus. That's going to be included with the $197 a month. So that's the part kind of haven't announced on a sales page, but I'm telling you right now, if you go to the past page and upgrade to the $197, you're going to be able to get the license key for that. And again, we have courses about this on how to help you get it configured using AI and or some of the experiences that we've had, but it's something that's there as a resource that you don't have to buy. As long as you're a member, you get access to the license key. If you stop being a member, you'll have to go and purchase it yourself. And it is the pro level. So that's kind of the first thing. And that community is a one where it's about implementation and mentoring and guidance. It's not just static content. It's stuff that we can do together. And I want to work on your site with you. I want you to go, okay, I have these 18 Zoom videos. I want to create a course. What are some good prompts that we should use to organize it? Well, we'll actually go do it during the Zoom call and see what happens. And if you are working on it, it's like, hey, you got to come back to the group here and say to the group, here's what I've got. Here's what I did. Here's what happened. And that's my intent for that piece. So that's kind of the first part, is to do that pass level and get into that. And then after that, I do have the agency side of things, which is going to include um, all of the tools from Fluent. So that means the Fluent boards, the Fluent booking, the Fluent community, and also the Fluent CRM. So I'm going to include all of the pieces on the agency side. So basically you can replicate the site that's here that I'm using. And again, those license keys will be available to you, the course content on how to do them there. And because you're working in the group, the Campus Builders group, you have questions or stuff, it's available for you to do there. And there's always someone available to answer the questions that come up in the actual group that's there. So um, that's kind of the piece that I'm dealing with, is how do you put that in a sales page? And I don't have an elegant way of doing it yet. So if you've noticed, I haven't been, when I switched to this kind of setup, I haven't been overly pushy on selling anything, because I haven't had a simple way to explain all of it. And that's what I'm working on internally. So if you do have questions about it now, the other thing you can always do is I am available. And if you look on the left-hand side here, it says work with me. This is Fluent Bookings, by the way. And what it does is it allows you to book some time with me, 15 minutes on a Zoom call, schedule some time with me, and I'll go over it and talk a little bit about what you're doing, and then make some suggestions on what might be the next step for you. So have any other questions here? Any other things that want to get covered? I would love to answer them. If there's stuff that's of interest to you, please put them in the chat. I'll do my best there. Yeah, Dreamsmith Media. Things are evolving so fast these days. Put something up 4 weeks later, it's obsolete. And you know what? I'm glad you asked that, because that is the number one reason that I think courses are not the way to go to monetize your expertise. I think we're really, really lucky if we have a passion for it and we get comfortable being able to share that passion with people and guide people through it. You know, traditional teaching is the gold standard now for monetization when it comes to education businesses online. Creating content for the sake of creating content, it's not a business anymore. That's been disrupted and replaced by AI. The very second that I create a course or you create a course, it is obsolete the moment that it is published, because it is static. And unless you're doing each and every course and each and every lesson, updating them all the time, you're going to fall behind really, really quickly. So that's the problem. The gold part of this, or the opportunity, is you are here, your experience is here to talk to real people and to help real people. And you can charge a lot more for helping people than you can for charging for content and hoping people can figure it out by themselves, when anyone can create the content in the first place. And even if they can't create it themselves, there's a billion other versions of the same content available. So uh, things are happening quickly, and it's continually changing. And the other thing I'm just going to talk about, just because it's here and you mentioned this, and you're going to hear a term, that's kind of coming up. And let me watch this video. I want you to watch this video if you haven't seen it. It was another one that I did, and it was the one that was here about, let me go back to my channel here. This one's an important one to watch because something was interesting that happened in it. This particular one was this one right here. The Gemini 2.5 watches your videos. One of the things that was announced by Google, Gemini 2.5, is that it can watch your videos. And the examples that it used was YouTube videos. I basically uploaded a YouTube video and did an analysis of that video. The other thing that they said was it doesn't have to be a YouTube video. So if you are creating course content and or video content for your campus and your community, and this is why I'm creating a video every day and sometimes two a day, is because tools like Gemini 2.5 can look at your archive or your database of videos and respond to prompts, even by voice. So if someone's there and they're going, hey, I'd like to find out about Gemini 2.5, and they're basically talking to their screen, Gemini is going to be able to go and search through all of your archives of videos and provide the answer and or the portions of the video, because it has the timestamps, the portions of the videos that answer the questions that people have. So that's not writing a course. That's having your own library of content about a specific topic and having these AI tools to it. So that was announced this week, or last week it came out. Yeah, it was last week that I did this video. Or no, I did it this week, 2 days ago. So that was just an announcement. If you haven't seen that, please go watch that video, because this is what's happening. Creating courses, it's organized or curated content, but I think personally it's like videos, 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 as fast and as many as you can, answering specific questions, small ones, big ones, your thoughts, the processes, your ideas. Start collecting it and keeping all of it, because that asset is the part that is going to help you become unique when you have all of this authority because of the content you created, and being able to have the tools to use that and making yourself available to answer questions from real people is where we can charge a lot more money. And the one thing that I get told all the time is, well, I want to have passive income. I don't want to have to be involved in it. Um, if that's your business, good luck with that. I don't think passive income in the form of selling courses is something that's really viable anymore. It's going to be very, very difficult. And of the ones that I've seen that are successful, there's something that is not told, and that part is the person that is saying they have a passive income from their members is they started with members who have already bought in or being monetized or using a product or service of the person that has the membership site, or they use the membership site as something that's complementary to another part of their business. I've seen a very few people who have passive income from a membership site if they aren't doing something else other than creating content for a membership site. So, getting your assets together, giving access to it, being involved personally, I think it was where the kind of the big opportunity is there. So, okay. Um, Here we go. Any other questions? 2 hours, it's 2:10. I've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes. I'll look and see if there's any more questions there that I could possibly answer and hopefully be some help there. David, there we go. Results. Big Mick, Dreamsmith Media, Patrick here. There we go. What else do we have here? Okay. I think we go. I'll bring it in for a landing. Please, if you haven't already, I would like you to go to that /pass page. Do sign up for the 197. We'll get you into this private group, the access to the messaging, and also get you set up with a license key that you can use to use Fluent Community on your own site. And I will say one thing with this, and I'll bring up the page again because I think I probably need to clarify this just to make sure that it makes sense. Is on the pass page, I'm giving away access to Fluent Community, and there's all sorts of things here. There's the URL at the top, /pass. I'm using WordPress to do this. Does that mean that you can only use WordPress to do this business model? And the answer is absolutely no. It's not the only way to do it. If you have Go High Level, Circle, Kajabi, Teachable, any of these other platforms that are about creating websites or the opportunity to learn or transfer knowledge, whether it be a hosted one, um, the process works the same with all of them. The reason I use WordPress is because I want access or control of my data, and I want to have the flexibility of adding the tools or the pieces that I need for the purpose of my particular business. And I've used a couple of examples of having your own place where you own your home or you rent your space at another software as a service. It doesn't matter. They both work, but you have to make a choice on which one is best for you. So I'm giving away Fluent Community. If you still want to do this, still available to use all of those other great tools. And in fact, Fluent Community is, I don't want to call it a direct ripoff, but if you have a circle.so account, which is a great community software as a service, they look almost identical, except one's on WordPress, one's a standalone one that is set up on a software as a service. So both work in a similar fashion. You can implement this business model exactly the same on both of them, with obviously with a couple little exceptions. But again, the whole idea is to build your learning campus, make it your own, keep your audience close to the vest, your community close to the vest, because the idea of community is going to be more and more important with all of the content and visual content that is coming out on YouTube. So, any more questions? I just remembered something, and I'm going to do one thing here. I don't normally do this. I'm going to take 2 minutes to do this. I have a video on it, but I'm just going to share the idea with you. How many people are still on? Okay, 16 people. Here's something that came out yesterday, and I just want to show you. I get asked a lot about what about this thing called text to video. I've done a couple videos on it. So basically, you give a prompt. There's one called VO from Google Labs VO, and basically you just say, create a video of this, and it goes out and creates a video. So I think it's really cool. It's something that's going to be really important, and there's some awesome examples of it. I'm going to show you one right now that came out yesterday, and then I'm going to show you the problem with it if you're using it for courses. So this particular one that came out is from Runway, and I'll bring up the screen here so that you can see it. And they did a new version. It's runwayml.com. And if you look on the screen here, these videos are text to video. So just put that in perspective. These are ones that are text to video. All of these ones, including the people, text to video. So if you're creating course content and you need to have a video, here's the brand new one that they just did. It's Runway Generation 4. So go to the website and take some really good looks at it because it is super cool. And I think it's really what's happening in this whole space. And here's what I really like about it is how effective it is and how straightforward it is. Here's the problem for us as course creators. I'm going to open up my account here so that you can see it. I did one on an overwhelmed shopper yesterday, just to give an example. And the one was, if I go to my account and I upgrade my plan, I'm on the free plan, so I don't get version of that. I don't get access to that version. But if I take a look at it, yearly or monthly, it's $15 a month. Yearly, it's $140 a month, but that is 625 credits is what I get for that. But if you hold your mouse over top of that, and hopefully I'll do this screen, I think, so you might be able to see it a little bit better. I'm holding my mouse over this. We'll pump it up for you, and it says 625 credits equals 52 seconds of video. So that means if you're doing a course or you're trying to create video, which is AI generated video, no matter if it's a cartoon and or a photorealistic person for your particular course, can you use more than 52 seconds in one lesson? Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to be in a point right now, you got 625 credits monthly. That's only 52 seconds. You're looking at enterprise, they're talking about 2,500 credits here. That's 187 seconds, 3 minutes of video. So it's very expensive yet, which is unfortunate. But if you're there, please go take a look at it because this thing is flipping cool. And again, this is something we're going to be able to do with all of these AI tools that are coming out. So sorry, I got in a little bit of a ramble there. I love doing this stuff. I have a lot of fun with it. I'll be back again next Wednesday. If you haven't already, please make sure to go to visit trainingsites.io/join. All of this stuff is available for free. Love to join the community. And then when you're ready and you want some extra help and you want a free copy of Fluent Community, just make sure that you go to, I'll put this one in, and this is my sales kind of head at here, not sales head. Go to trainingsites.io/pass, upgrade to the community, $197 a month. I'd love to have you in there and help you start, build, and grow an education business. So James Maduke, trainingsites.io, like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back again next week and probably online later today with another great video. Take care and expect the best.